Hello everyone, a greeting in the name of God Almighty. My name is Apostle Nathan Silas and I'm here with Nancy Grace. Today we have a very interesting topic to react to by Dr. Zakir Naik, who says that the Muslim Ummah is one. I believe it's going to be a very interesting one, so just stay tuned and enjoy this video together. So if today happens to be the first time of you checking out my channel, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and follow me on my Facebook and Instagram. And if you have any video you want me to react to, don't forget to drop it at the comment section and I'm going to check it out. So guys, before we get down to the video, I'm a theologian and I make this video not to discredit anyone's religion. This is basically for educational purposes, and I believe that at the end of this video we are going to learn from it. So guys, without wasting much of our time, let's get down to the video.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I just wanted to ask about the meaning of the hadith from Sahih Muslim. Ummatul Wahida. The Muslim Ummah is one Ummah at the exclusion of all others. Their land is one, their war is one, their peace is one, their trust is one. And is this hadith relevant to us Muslims living in a non-Muslim society whose armies are killing Muslims, expelling them from their homes and fighting them as we speak?
The sister wants me to throw some light on the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ that the Muslim is one ummah, irrespective of whether you're living. And there are various hadith the Prophet said that it's like one body, and if one part of the body is hurt, then all the rest of the body is also in pain. So in that context, as far as the Muslim ummah is concerned, irrespective of whether you're living in a Muslim society or non-Muslim society, whether you're living in UK or America or Saudi Arabia, the Muslim ummah is one. And if one part of the ummah is hurt, it's the duty, as far as possible, whatever ability a person has got, he should see to it that he helps. So there are various situations. For example, if you know that there's one part of the Muslim ummah which is poor or doesn't have enough resources to feed themselves, it's the duty of the other part of the ummah to see to it that they give them, whether it be from zakat money or from sadaqah money, whatever it is, so that they help the other part of the Muslim ummah. Now we know the scenario is such that we find that certain portion of the Muslim ummah, they are being attacked, they are being harmed. So whatever capacity we have and whatever ability we have got, it's the duty that we as Muslims, as the beloved Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, that if you find anything evil, the best is to stop it with your hand. If you cannot stop it with the hand, then stop it with the tongue. If you cannot stop with the tongue, the least you can do is curse in your heart. And then if you do that, you are the lowest level of a Muslim. So when you see anything wrong, if you can stop it with the hand, do it. If you cannot stop with your hand, then try and stop it with the tongue. If you can't do that, at least curse in your heart. If you find something is happening, maybe a robbery is taking place, if Allah has given you the ability, go and stop with your hand. If you feel that the person, they have got more strength, you're a lean person and there are 10 of them, at least try and stop with the tongue. Please, mister, don't rob. If you can't do that, at least curse in your heart. Now, depending upon the ability that we have got, we have to do that. Now we find, unfortunately, that the scenario that we have, that especially after 9/11, we know that what happened in 9/11 was wrong. Allah clearly mentioned in Surah Ma'idah chapter 5 verse number 32 that if anyone kills any other human being, whether Muslim or non-Muslim, unless it be for murder or for creating corruption in the land, it is as though he has killed the whole of humanity. So killing any innocent human being is haram. So what happened in 9/11? More than 3,000 or 5,000 people were killed, innocent people, it is to be condemned. Who did it? I don't know. The media says X, Y, Z, I don't know. But whoever did it, it is wrong. What happened in London on the 7th of July, where more than 50 people were killed, innocent human being, it is to be condemned. Whoever did it is at fault. It is wrong. But what we have to realize, that unfortunately, when Muslims live in non-Muslim society, they try to be over-apologetic. We find in America, we find in UK, all the Muslim body got together and they condemned the 9/11. Correct? No problem. They condemned what happened in 7th of July in London, which I too condemn. But in the same breath, we also have to condemn the thousands of people killed in Afghanistan. We also have to condemn We also have to condemn the thousands of people killed in Iraq. What's happening in Palestine? Every day Muslims are being killed. What happened in Bosnia? We have to condemn that too. Why do we stop? Unfortunately, when I read reports, all the Muslim bodies get together and they're condemning only part of it. Why? It's the same. What is wrong is wrong. If a Muslim kills an innocent human being, he has to be condemned. Similarly, if a non-Muslim kills an innocent Muslim, even he has to be condemned. Who are we afraid of? But you have to do it with hikmah. If you fear that you opening your mouth will create a problem, but don't mention wrong things. Therefore, as a da'i, we should know how to turn the tables over with hikmah. So what we have to realize, that what is wrong, we have to condemn. And believe me, I've been to America several times, in USA, in Canada, I've been to UK. The thing is that if you realize what a talk I gave on Islam and terrorism, in all time that was the topic, what we have to realize that many a times, two different labels are given for the same activity of the same individual. For example, in India, there were many Indians who were fighting for the freedom about 60, 70 years back, when the Britishers were ruling India. Now, these people who fought for the freedom by the British government, they were called as terrorists. But we common Indians, we call them as freedom fighters. Same people, same activity, but two different labels. If you agree with the view of the British government that they had a right to rule over India, you have to call these people as terrorists. But if you agree with the view of the common Indians that the Britishers came to India to do business, they have no right to rule over us, then you would call these people as freedom fighters, you would call these people as patriots. Same people, same activity, but two different labels. So before you give a label, you have to first try and find out for what reason is the person striving. If you see the history of American Revolution in the 18th century, in 1775, the Americans got their freedom, the Britishers were ruling them. And the two people who were called number one terrorist was Benjamin Franklin, George Washington. According to this British government, George Washington was terrorist number one. And later on, this same terrorist number one became the president of America. Imagine, terrorist number one, according to British government, becomes the president of America. And he happens to be the godfather of all the American presidents to follow, including George Bush. So what we see today is whoever is in power, what he says carries weight. We can give an example of the apartheid government of South Africa, white apartheid government. They imprisoned Nelson Mandela for 25 years. They called him terrorist number one. After the apartheid government was removed in the new South Africa, Nelson Mandela became the president. A few years later, he gets the Nobel Prize for Peace. Imagine the person who was called terrorist number one is given the Nobel Prize for Peace for the same activity. Not that first he was bad and then he became good. For the same activity for which he was called a terrorist, later on he gets the Nobel Prize for Peace. What we come to know, whoever is in power, what he says turns out to be the gospel truth, which is not the case. So what we have to know, we have to go to the root cause. So we as Muslims, what we have to do, sister, is we have to speak for the haqq. So if Allah has given you the power, with your hand you can stop it, do it. With your mouth, do it with the mouth. Least you can do is curse in your heart and pray for the ummah. Hope that answers the question.
Well, that's a very interesting one, a very good response by Dr. Zakir Naik. Ummah is one. What is bad, and if you want to condemn something, condemn it for all. Don't condemn for some part and leave the rest. I just love some of the explanation he gave about 9/11 and then some of the things that happened in London, also in Pakistan, Afghanistan, and the lot of it. So it's been expected that what, as a Christian word, because the Bible has been clear, it says that what thou shalt not kill. That's part of our commandment. There was no condition attached to it that there should be this then kill. No, thou shalt not kill means thou shalt not kill. Just like the way in the Muslim faith says that what, if at all you understand you wanted to at least support someone, or you should be able to use your mouth or use your hand or even pray for the person. So there are diverse ways in which the Quran have actually gave us the final message from God, which says that what, at least use your mouth, pray for the person. So if you want to condemn something, condemn it. If you don't want to condemn it, just keep quiet. That's just the best way. But don't try to take side on something you know is bad and you try to take side. That's why I've always have issues with some of the people that are being killed in Palestine, right? Yeah, what is bad is bad. You don't have to kill them. It's their own land. They may not be of same faith with you. So if he says this is the land God promised to give you, and then it's their own land, well, it is your faith who gives you that. So maybe they may not believe in your own faith. So it means that what you need not to kill them. So what is bad is bad. Let's just try to what to live in peace, just like what Islam, the Muslim. It means that what when we say Islam or Muslim, it says that what it means is submission to the will of God. And if you are submitting to the will of God, it means you don't have to do anything on behalf of God. God is so powerful. It's just like you are kind of reducing the power of God by trying to do something for God. You don't do something for God. God knows what is good for him, so he can be able to do everything by himself. He has the power. If he has the power to say that let it be and the mountains be, let the water flows and the water flows, let the earth be and the earth be, let the vegetables be and it be. He mold man and they give him bread. He says he should breathe and he breathed. So what can God do with his own hand that you or I and you have to use our hands or use our mouth to do? No, God can do everything for himself. Anything that he feels like is right that he wants to do, he can do it. We don't have to do anything in extent for him. But while we do so, let's make sure that what we follow God's commandment, let's obey his commandment, let's submit to his will, let's worship him and reference him in everything we do. I believe that by so doing, we are going to have a peaceful world, a world that we can be able to actually love your neighbor as yourself, just like how the Bible put it. So now, let's listen to Nancy Grace.
Well, I so much love this video that says they are one, and I think one love keep them together. And it says that if you see any bad thing going on, I think all they have to do is to pray to Allah. With your heart, pray to Allah to stop it if you cannot stop it by your own hands. I so much love it that the same Allah, that God will still keep us because we are one. That God should keep us, whether Muslim or non-Muslim. That God should keep us in unity and in love.
Alright guys, this is the end of our video. If you like our reaction, you should like, share and subscribe. And if you have any video you want us to react to, don't forget to drop it at the comment section and we're going to check it out. So guys, amen.